Okay, so you can't or you don't want to use contacts. That's completely fine, and that's how I cosplay. Maybe it's a safety thing, maybe it's a budget thing because contacts are expensive and they are only lasting for a while. The wigs behind me, they don't expire. Or maybe it's because you're like, I'm gonna be on the con floor for like 8 hours at a time. I don't wanna have to deal with dry eyes on top of that. I've already got a headache. But either way, today I'm gonna be talking about doing that in Photoshop specifically. However, you can use any free program. You can use Fire Alpaca, you can use GIMP, you can use Procreate as well. That one's not free, it's about $10, but it is worth it, especially if you're editing on an iPad or any other program. There are also a couple of other apps that allow you to color your eyes in other ways. I have difficulties with that because I like them to look a certain way. And especially if you're doing like an Archon from Genshin Impact, they have very specific eye colors. Like today I'm going to be showing you an example of Furina, and as well as Nott the Brave that has Sclera, and I think Weird Barbie is my third one. I filmed all the tutorials before the voiceover, so this is going to be interesting. And I will say that the recordings in real time only took me about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So this is a really fast process. I do know if you're editing like 50 photos, it will add up, but there are ways around it because some of the time taken is just choosing your colors and figuring out what you like the transparency and whatnot. I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. So anyway, I am rambling as I usually do. I'm a big yapper, so let's get into the tutorial. First, you have your photo. Do any minor edits like cleaning up bobby pins or any lighting issues. Then you are going to create a layer on top, which I'm calling the eye layer. Do I actually ever name my layers in real life? No, but for the purposes of this, I have to pretend I'm not a gremlin and actually be, you know, somewhat organized. Professional versus, you know, on my own, I'm a K-Mouse gremlin. Then I'm going to set that layer to soft light. Then you are going to pull up a picture of that character you are cosplaying. Bonus points if it's something that is from the official release, like maybe the concept art. But if you are a digital artist yourself, it would be exciting to pull up a picture that you have created and you've already gone through the process of like, what color do I like this character to have? Or any other fan art that you really love of that character. Sometimes artists make different choices, and that's okay. That's actually really cool to be like, this is my interpretation of a character based off of XYZ. So anyway, getting back on track, I'm going to use the color drop tool and pick up the color and say, yeah, that's good, and put a little bit of paint above the eye of my reference picture so I can select that color later easily. Once you have your color and you have changed the layer name to eye, done your soft light setting, and I should go back and say I choose the soft light because it simulates a diffused light, or in this case, diffused color, something soft and subtle-ish. Also, this allows the layer for detailing to show up in your actual eye because all eyes have a little bit of detailing. If you're ever bored, you should look up close-up pictures of eyes. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. If you can get a close-up picture of your own eye, you should do that. After your eye layer, going to select your soft brush and zoom in on your eyes. I am just going to lay some color down on my eye. You will notice that I don't touch the ring around my eye, and that's to make it look like a contact, kind of leave a little bit of that original color in. And since this is Furina, I'm going to add a second color around the pupil. Use this tutorial as a starting point, but remember you're a different person with different eyeballs and different characters that you are working on. As you edit your eyes, feel free to play around and see what works best with your eye color. If you find the color isn't showing up, you may need to use a duplicate layer of that soft light. or change the layer setting to an overlay or a color setting. I'll give another example later on in this video. Now, I chose Furina as my example for the first part on purpose because she has a detail in her eye I want to add to this picture. To do that, I'm going to have to do a normal layer over this and put a little dot of color in the pupil, but only on one eye. As you can see, the light reflection in my eye actually makes it look like it's already put in there for the other eye. So for this eye, I'm just going to put a little bit of color and then use the Gaussian blur to create a gradient. And then I'm going to use the eraser tool at 50% strength to tone down the pupil situation further. And ta-da, here is the before and after. Alright, so for my second example, we're going to do something that also involves the sclera. I'm going to pull up my Nott the Brave. For her, I wanted my the white part of the eye to be more yellow and kind of glowy. Something that would be a bit unsettling to see at 3 in the morning kind of vibe. For that, I went with a vivid light filter on my settings, which you can see here. This is the opposite of that diffused soft lighting. This one is about upping the contrast and making things glow like a neon sign. Then I'm just going to use my soft brush and put a little bit of yellow in. Already looking a little bit creepy. Then I'm going to do another layer with the soft light to make my eyes look more reddish brown. They kind of photographed, as you can see, kind of that darker color. I'm also going to do a third layer with black to make the pupils more cat-like. And here you go. Here's my Nott the Brave eyeball. Yee. For my third example, I mentioned playing around with the layers. So this is like a purple color that would look in overlay, soft light, color, and vivid light. As you can see, there's different looks to each color of eye. In the past, I've used overlay quite a bit, but this past year, something in me said, you know what, we're gonna go with soft light from now on. And I just listened to that. Your taste is going to evolve over time of how you like your cosplay pictures to look, or if you're a photographer listening to this, you might have a certain way of editing that you like, and that different color setting is going to align with that more. I would say to avoid using normal mode unless you have a detailed paint in like I was showing for Nott's eye or Furina's eye. Or a character like Rui from Demon Slayer, which I've also done. And he has a little character in his eyeball to signify his rank. And sorry, but I'm not going to buy a special contact for a cosplay that I did 1 or 2 times. I still have him and I want to recreate his wig and stuff, but I don't want to buy contacts for him. I've definitely gone about it editing in so many different ways over the years. Anyway, have fun editing, drink water, not a random liquid, but actual water, and take care of your mental health. I'll see you in the next video. Please let me know if you like videos like this. It is a little bit more time consuming than just making a short while I'm in cosplay. I have to put on actual makeup so I look presentable and then take multiple takes. Like, I actually filmed this video beforehand, but I didn't like the lighting of it, so I had to wait till another Saturday where I could actually get light in, because when I come home from work it's usually super dark and I don't really feel like filming things anyway. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this.